Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hello. Hello, this channel is about painting on wet on wet. And if you're returning, welcome back. Now here I am painting a Bob Ross inspired painting. Now I've done this one previously, and so I'm just practicing it again. And the last one I really didn't finish, and I really didn't finish this one either, but I got further than I did in the previous one. And you can see that at the end of the video. I'll put a link in there which you can click on. Now here I am unwrapping my paints. I put them in that container there, which I thought was going to be a good idea, and it was. However, it got a bit of a skin on it, so I wasn't expecting the skin because I had it covered, but it got a skin anyway. And I just wanted to put it in there to save paint and just get out the little bits I need at a time and put it on the palette when I need it. And for that, it has worked out well. I think I've saved a lot of paint and a lot of tidying up time as well. Now here I still don't have the right colour, but I did purchase the right colour, and I will practice this again with the right colour yellow. It has the 3 yellows on, the Indian yellow and the cad yellow and the other yellow, which I can't remember right now. And that's the 3rd yellow there I'm just putting on. Now I'm trying to, do the little X's, put it on with little X's that Bob keeps talking about. So I'm just practicing the X's, trying to. I notice he doesn't do it all the time, so I just do it when it feels natural, and what I'm trying to concentrate, what the look I'm trying to get is. And because I'm painting on a pad, as you can see, an artist pad, I think it's A3, I'm using, instead of using a 2-inch brush like I used for the other one when I did it on the cardboard, this one I'm using a 1-inch brush. And with this, when Bob does it, it comes out sort of thin. Mine brush is still sort of fluffy, so I don't know how to not have that fluffy brush. Even the 1-inch, I didn't have enough paint on it. His seems to go on so easily, so I wasn't very happy with that. Now I'm putting on the bright red, I think that colour is, or it could be the other red that is in this painting. But anyway, it turned out a beautiful sort of orangey colour, which I really liked. And here I am again, just trying to do that, practice the crisscross pattern. Trying to hold my brush like Bob is holding his, because I am looking at him painting it on my laptop. It's over on the left. So this video goes for 35 minutes, and so the painting took 30 minutes on here, but it actually took me a couple of hours by the time I looked at what Bob was doing and getting my paints, and I was cleaning the brushes, cleaning everything, making sure I was doing it right, or as right as I can. Now these clouds got a bit thick because I kept on going over it with my fluffy brush. So I made them more fluffier. Now I'm putting on the sky color underneath, but here I think some black got into the blue and it came out really black. And so I wasn't happy with that. And I thought, you know what? I'll keep on going because at least I'm practicing the brush strokes and how the paint is going on. So I didn't try and change the color or anything. I just kept going with this color. I'm only a beginner and it's practice. So I thought just keep on going. Next time I'll definitely try and get the color right as close as I can to Bob's, and that's another thing that took the time too, is getting the colors and mixing them. And that took me a lot longer than Bob takes, believe me, a lot longer. And I still get it wrong, so it's quite tough. And then he said, with this picture, get the blue and put just straight blue on, I think. So I did that, but it was still black looking. So well, I did the best I could. So now I've finished with that last colour, that blue colour, which turned out to be black. So the whole sky looks black. It's supposed to be a cloud type thing. But when the final picture comes out, it sort of looks like a mountain, which is okay. It's not supposed to be a mountain, but... And now I'm doing the streaky clouds with the little knife, small knife, and so I'm practicing lots of little streaky clouds, and I love using the knife, but I still can't use it properly. Not too sure what he's doing. I can only guess what he's doing and mimic that. And I am just practicing his paintings with his techniques of how he paints. I know there's other wet on wet painters like Bill Alexander and his students. And I have tried some of Bill Alexander's paintings, especially I really love the island in the lake or the river or the stream, whatever it is. That I think that's really beautiful, and I might do one again actually, because it didn't turn out very well, but it turned out better than I thought it would. Bill's paintings are more sort of abstract, I feel, where Bob's paintings are more realistic, sort of. I don't know if you get that, or if you see that too, if you know, or if you've done some of Bill's paintings, but that's how I feel about it. And now I'm still putting on the streaky clouds. And some are at that angle, if you can see on that black cloud. Some go up, and to me it just looks weird. It doesn't look like, some go up and some go across. So, and when I definitely put too much paint on. So now I'm using just a dry, soft brush just to, one hair and some air, and I'm trying to capture that sort of feel. And now this brush isn't a hog hair. This isn't a brush that you're supposed to be using. This is a nylon brush. So all I'm doing though is using it to blend, and I know because it's nice and dry, and not anymore because I put it in the paint. So this is where he's using the brush to do more clouds, a different type of cloud. So I thought I would use this brush again, seeing I just used it for the blending. I don't know why I had that idea. I should have used the proper hog hair natural brushes, which Bob recommends to use. I do have Bob Ross brushes, a few of them. Felt rich one day, so I didn't buy them all in one day. I sort of bought one this month, and a couple of months later I buy another one. Now I'm putting in the wave. Now down the bottom here is a clear magic, but up the top is magic white, but down the bottom I just used some clear spectrum paint because Bob said he doesn't want to lose the color on the bottom, so he didn't use the white. He didn't want to dilute it. So that's my big wave I put in. Now I'm using this color again. It's the wrong color. It's black. It's not right. But I kept going because otherwise it would take me 3 hours if I tried to start again or find the right color and muck around like that. I just wanted to get going, get the feel of it down. I just wanted to keep going. Here I am, crisscrossing, trying to get that feel of crisscross, which feels really weird, and I don't think I've got enough paint on the brush. I think that's why it's fluffy. If anyone out there has some tips about that or knows more than I do, because I practically know nothing, because I've never painted. I drew a horse's head once, which was pretty good when I was a child. And I also decorated a Thomas the Tank Engine cake, and I did Thomas the Tank Engine's face in fondant, and that came out really looking just like Thomas. And so I have got it in me if I try. So hopefully if I keep trying this, some pictures are going to come out worthy, hopefully. But then Bob Ross was doing it for over 20 years, and I have not. I think I started last year, but I haven't, I do one every 6 months, but now I want to do it a lot more because I really want to grasp what is happening. So now I'm just putting in underneath the wave, using my little crisscross strokes, being a good student. Now see how I'm going up, but I'm not actually going all the way up because I should be going all the way up. I'm just trying to get the wave to look like a wave. And then I forget that I've got to put a beach in. So I stop right there because I remember I've got to put a beach in. And I sort of run out of room again because you have to know how much room you need. So I'm trying to do this wave again. I'm trying to be positive. Now I'm putting in the beach. Now I know it's not the right color, but I want to use up my paints that I have on my board. Now I called it a board and not a palette because it's actually a cutting board. And I realized that it's probably harder to clean the cutting board because it's not smooth. I think it's porous, so I think I need to invest in some Perspex. I can't hold a palette all the time because of my arms. I've got an injury from when I was in the army, so I can't lift my arms up or have them up too long, and that's why I'm not using a what do you call what you put the canvas in, so it's straight up. So when I do this, I'm trying to save my arms because they really hurt if I have to keep them up. So I'm trying to keep them down. But I think it's probably easier to paint if it's upright, because I had trouble maneuvering the knife because I was always like crossing over my body, and I think if it was on a stand, I wouldn't have to cross over my body so much because it would be up in the air. Yeah. And my body would be less in the way. So now I'm using the small knife to put the waves in, and I'm trying to, Bob said to press really hard and wiggle it. So I'm trying to press hard and wiggle it. I still don't know what the difference is between putting in a cloud and wiggling on the wave. I don't know. So I just kept going, and I love using the knife and doing waves like this. So they weren't as good as Bob's, but I'm getting better at them. And they're fun. So I just kept going and practicing, because that's what this is about. It's about practicing and sharing it with you guys. So I want to hear what tips you have and what you think, if I'm holding something wrong or I should be doing something different. Now, I noticed when I started that you can't see my palette. I've got the camera at the wrong angle, really. Thank goodness you can see sort of what's going on. But next time I'll put the camera on the tripod again. I tried to get away with not using the tripod, and that's what happens. See, you're trying to cut corners, this is what happens. You don't get a good end result. And now I'm putting on the yellow highlights, like a reflection of the sun that's up there. I don't know if it's a sunset or a sunrise. Probably doesn't matter, but I think it's a sunset because that black cloud there is supposed to be, the thunderstorm coming, I think, or a storm coming. So that's supposed to be that. So I'm still putting in the yellow sun reflection. And next, I think he says to put on another brighter yellow on top of that. And so, hello, I'm Mrs. Mud Mixer. Definitely get mixing that mud. I would love to learn not to do that, and I can't wait till that day when I'm not a mud mixer. I don't know, I seem to use too much paint. So I need to restrain my paint usage. And Bob's palette seems to be so organized, and when he mixes or gets the paint out and puts it on his brush, it all seems to be so neat and tidy. I seem to end up with paint all over my board and all very messy. So another goal is I would like to not be so messy and have everything nicely organized. So now it's 20 minutes already. So there's only 10 minutes to go of my painting, really. So in 10 minutes, I should be done. And what am I doing now? Looks like I'm still putting on the bright yellow Yeah, it didn't go so bad this time. I didn't really mix the mud this time. Well, you've got the white paint, then you've got the yellow paint, then you've got the bright yellow paint on top of each other. And that was something new to me. And it didn't turn out that bad, actually, in the way of mud mixing, that is. And now Bob said to use the fan brush with some titanium white and do some more waves, little doers. And I was putting in my little doers, and I was just trying just to practice. So I was every sort of dark space I put in a doer. And then he said to just go back and forth with, like I'm doing there, just go back and forth like that. So I was practicing that technique. And that's why I'm doing these paintings over and over, so I can keep practicing the technique. And so hopefully it will make sense to me one day. That's why you'll see me doing a lot of do-overs, because it's just practicing the techniques and how this painting comes together. And once I learn the techniques, I will be painting my own paintings. I think I'm getting some ideas from Bob and my own nature here that I see out the backyard and in the Australian bush. Bob paints this house, this little shack that looks like an Australian sort of outback, well, not outback, but country house. And I really love that style, so I wouldn't mind doing some of those in Australian, with the gum trees and maybe the red sunset coming through the gum tree. It's just, that's what happens out the back here in my backyard. I've got the trees, and it looks like there's a fire behind them. The sun gets so red at the sunset, and it looks awesome. And so here I'm just putting in more little doers, just practicing that brush stroke, just seeing how much paint I need, how much paint comes off, all that. What color am I doing here? Oh, now I'm trying this wave. Oh, wow. This wave. On the last painting, I just gave up on the wave. I just left it because it was taking hours and I just had enough. And so I left it. But this time I do a little bit more of the wave technique. And here I'm supposed to go right up to where that other wave is, but somehow I don't. So I've got a big black line where the top of the wave, where it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because waves aren't dark at the top of the wave. So I need to improve that next time I do this scene, which will be very soon. So I'll link that at the end of the video as well. Now here I am with a clean dry brush, trying to do what Bob says. Yep, trying to blend it in and make it pretty, but I don't. And look at that black line. That's supposed to be the top of that wave. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it until I've looked back and thought, oh, look at that. That's not supposed to be there. And so I'm trying to fix this wave. It's not going right. I'm just wondering what I'm doing. How long I'll continue to do it. Yeah, I'm putting some white in it, or yellow, because I sort of blended it down to the blue or the black, and I don't know, just had a lot of trouble. And now I thought, okay, I'm feeling all right, so I'm going to add a bit more onto this wave that I didn't really do last week. I sort of left it last week. It looked all right, but it did look a bit unfinished. or weird because you don't have this big yellow wave coming at you, do you? You don't have a big round bit of yellow wave. You can see that in my other video, how I just left it. Look, you can only do so much at a time, really. Or I can only do so much at a time. So we've only got about 5 minutes left now, and I do my best at the time. Here I am putting in the shadow. You know, he does it so fast, and I think I've got to do it fast too, but I just don't want to take 3 hours to do one painting. And I want it to look beautiful. And so now I'm putting in the suds, the white bit, the foam. When it crashes down, the foam comes up. I think that's what it's supposed to be. And it got mixed up and I couldn't get enough white on there, so I just used it straight out of my little plastic palette thing there. And so I'm just trying to make the suds white. I didn't have too much luck. So, but I kept going. It's like, come on, you've got to turn white. And then I just give up. I don't know. But it looks like it's gone right up. I think the last painting, it didn't go right up. And now I'm putting in, I don't know what I'm putting in there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not actually doing what he's doing, but I'm doing something. I think I'm definitely not doing what he is doing, because he puts in little doers and it looks awesome, and I don't know what I'm doing there. But then I realize that I run out of room to put the wave on the beach in. So in a minute I come back. Yeah, I'm just sort of practicing my stroke there. And see, here I use white because I realize that it should be white along the beach. So he used the fan brush, and I wanted it to be white, so I just used the technique with the knife, just putting the foam bit on the beach, because I need to use my liner brush to practice a black line that goes around it. Now my line turned out to be too thick, but at least I'm practicing it. See that? Yeah. I just needed it to be a bit thinner, I think. It would have looked more realistic. And I want it to look realistic. I don't want it to look weirdly, I think it was too fat. I don't want it to look weirdly fat. And now my favorite bit. If you've seen the last video, you know it's my favorite bit. And it's the palm trees. I love palm trees. I love painting the palm trees. I'm no good at it yet, but I like to practice the leaves, the big, huge leaves. I think it's a great technique that he uses. And instead of just doing the 2 he does, I do 2 more just to get the practice in. I'm thinking, why waste this good practice time when I could be practicing my palm trees? I think when I do my own scenes, I'll be doing a lot of palm trees and beaches. I just love palm trees and beaches and sunsets. Might put a mountain in there instead of the cloud. And on the last painting I did of this, I didn't try to do this bit. It's making the palm tree trunks look round, and as you can see, I trying to find out how he holds a knife. I had to look, and I don't know if I'm still holding it wrong, because I'm right-handed. So now, see, I'm right across and holding it the other way. I can't even see what I'm doing. You know, how does he see what he's doing all the time? I just don't know. And in some places, I definitely had too much paint on the brush. I mean, on the knife. But sometimes he does do it with a fan brush, just flicks it over. So now, in reality, this has taken me like 2 hours. And that's not even with the setting up, with getting everything ready, like my getting the paint thinner ready, and you know, the brush, getting the brush dry bucket ready, and it's just too long. And it's when you're not used to it, it just takes a toll on me, because I'm just not used to using my arms that much too. Now here is I'm doing the palm tree leaves, and I just love doing this bit. I'm trying to fit in as many palm tree leaves as I can, so I get lots of practicing. And I hope you think it's okay at the end. I hope you think, well, you know, for a beginner, this isn't too bad. I hope that's what you're thinking. I'd like that. I would like to be a great painter, but I've got to start somewhere, right? But I really do enjoy painting these palm trees, because I never thought I could ever paint a palm tree, ever. And see, I have to learn perspective and all those things too, you know, as I go. So I don't know how this learning is going to happen, but I think it's happening. Like, it's definitely not leaps and bounds. It's definitely a slow process. And because this painting, it's so expensive. The paint is expensive. So I just get the cheapest paint and use that. So maybe, you know, that's got something to do with it. But I'd really like to be on it, so when, no matter what paint I use, it's going to come out really good. And I'm just about finished. I've just about had enough of painting, and I can call it a day. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me paint, and maybe you're learning, or maybe you just want to watch someone, a beginner, paint and have a good laugh. And I just hope you enjoyed it anyway, and it's been a pleasure showing you. It's very exciting, very exciting. And when something's finished, you think, wow, you know, I did that. At least I did that. I did something. Now I can feel proud of that. And that's the end result. What do you think? What do you think about that? It's pretty awesome, right? So thank you so much for viewing, and I appreciate it so much. And if you wouldn't mind, could you support my channel and like and subscribe and share if you can? And while you're here, why don't you check out my previous painting? Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.